Hi, and welcome to Razzball Radio. I'm your host, Nick Capozzi. It is Wednesday, June 18th, and every Wednesday we dig deep, we scrape the bottom of the barrel, and we're always able to come up with the man, the one, the only, Mr. Gray Albright. Gray, welcome to Razzball Radio, brother. How are you?
What's up, playa?
I'll tell you what's up. So I had a little wager going with Guru yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
In a little daily fantasy game. Of course, we play every night at DraftKings.com. You can get the link in the Razzball hot sheet. And the wager was whoever lost had to wear an ugly T-shirt today. And as it worked out, we both did. So I'm wearing the ugly Razzball Radio T-shirt. And you're actually sporting the old school Razzball logo T-shirt. I'm kidding. They're not ugly T-shirts.
Like an old fool.
Can you just
I got old school.
stand up for a second? Because I can't see it on the camera. Just come up a little bit. Show off the old Razzball logo. Okay, I didn't really mean to stand. I meant more like try and get in the middle. All right, moving on. So you ready to talk a little fantasy baseball on this Wednesday, buddy? We got lots of news to get to.
Yeah. Let's go. Let's do this, babe.
whatever.
What? When you introduce me, I want you to introduce me as Gray Albright Fantasy Master Lothario. That's FML for short. What, is that a bad acronym?
I prefer calling you the Razzball Overlord.
All right.
Yeah. Anyway, hey, listen, buddy. I'm surprised you're in such a good mood today. I was a little concerned that it might be a tough day for you with Michael Brantley, your favorite player, getting concussed.
Why would you bring that up?
Someone had to. So there was actually talk he might start yesterday, but then still was showing some post-concussion symptoms. So what's the deal here with Brantley? I mean, we're just waiting on him, right? Obviously.
I can't have anything nice. That's what the deal is. If you must know, my karma from a previous life.
See, that's not true. You've got a lovely wife, a lovely mother-in-law who's letting you use the Palm Springs estate. You've got a great company, Razzball.com.
It is actually Rancho Mirage, if you must know.
Okay. All right, so I just brought up Brantley. There's no real news there other than keep an eye on him to see when he is back. Like I said, they were talking about getting him in the lineup last night, but he didn't pass the tests. Kind of like me in high school.
I would like to give him one test. Does he want Gray Albright to cry? If not, get on the field, please.
All right, let's talk about someone else who's been making me cry a little bit because he's a guy having a lot of leagues, Max Scherzer. He had 3 or 4 bad starts in a row, then pitched really well last week. The K's weren't there, but pitched well, got a complete game. Yesterday, got shelled by the Royals, 10 runs in 4 innings. What's happening in that? What's happening with the whole Detroit rotation right now? Actually, we'll get to Verlander in a second, but, I mean, they're all craning their necks looking at Kate Upton when she comes post-game down to the locker room. What's happening, bro?
Nothing ever bad has come from Kate Upton.
I'll agree with you on that.
Yeah, Scherzer, I think, just had a bad start. His numbers look fine. His Ks and walks and his all his peripherals really look about the same as last year when he had an under 3 ERA. So I'm not too worried about Scherzer. I think he's going to be good. He'll probably bounce back and be around a barely 3 ERA pitcher and a ace due to all his Ks. He's still on pace for 230 Ks for the season, so he's totally fine. I'm not worried about Scherzer. If you can buy low due to his poor start against the Royals, then go for it. But yeah, I wouldn't be too concerned. Verlander, on the other hand, he is a mess.
Okay, let's segue into that. So what is happening with Verlander right now? Hold on, just have a sip of your coffee and then let us know. Whenever you're ready, Gray. It's all about you.
Thanks, I appreciate that.
What's going on with Verlander?
What was that? Oh, Verlander, yeah. He is He's gotten old, perhaps. The velocity is down a little bit.
But no, the
He's
velocity's
saying that,
been pretty good lately. I don't know that it's a velocity issue.
and maybe it's a mechanics issue, but he said he was making a mechanical adjustment um, back on June 5th, and then that led to two more terrible starts. So I don't know. I don't know really. Like obviously, I'm not a pitching coach, or I would be, scratching myself and talking to the bench coach right now. I am just a poor fantasy baseball blogger who is wearing a beautiful T-shirt and has a gorgeous mustache. But if I were to guess, it must be mechanics. It's got to be something that he is. I mean, he right now he looks like around a 4.5 pitcher, if a 4.5 ERA pitcher, if his luck were to be neutral. So I mean, that's terrible. That's not. I mean, that's not Verlander. That's a guy who you don't even want to own in fantasy. That's not let alone anywhere near an ace. That's someone who right now I wouldn't start Verlander anywhere until I saw a solid game. I would want to see at least 7 innings and three or less earned runs on my bench before I put him into my lineup in any league. That's even AL only. I wouldn't go anywhere near him right now in a starting lineup. I think his Ks are way down. He's right now because all right. So in the past, I've talked about how like if there's a difference between K rate and walk rate, and it's a +6, then you have a decent pitcher,
Yep.
a startable pitcher in most leagues. So Scherzer, for instance, has a 10 plus K rate
You know
and
what,
around
Craig?
and
Sorry,
around.
I'm going to interrupt you for just for a second. I tell you, we'll come back to this Verlander thing right after we go to break. We'll be right back here on Razzball Radio. We'll finish up on this Verlander stuff and get to some more fantasy baseball news. Okay, we're back with more Razzball Radio news. We're talking about Verlander. You were talking about the K to base on balls.
Yeah. Before I was rudely interrupted. That is.
Well, listen, by commercials,
Apologize.
brother.
Apologize right now to your fantasy master, Lothario.
I apologize, fantasy master.
Okay. So, like I was saying, Scherzer is around a 10K rate and a little over a 1 walk rate. That's a difference of 10. That's an ace because, like I said earlier, a difference of 6 is around startable in most leagues. A difference of 10 is you have a handful of guys like a Tanaka, all Dervish could be he's a little bit higher on the walk rate, but you're talking about like maybe like 4 or 5 pitchers that have a 10 difference, and Scherzer's in that range. Now Verlander, he's got around a 6 plus K rate and a 3 plus walk rate. That's a difference of 3. That's terrible. That's like Kyle Kendrick territory. Like
All right.
seriously.
Let me ask you one real quick question here on Verlander, and then we're going to move on from Verlander. But just yes or no, is there any chance you would buy low on him right now?
No.
Okay.
There's no point. Not unless you're. I could see maybe if you're so stacked in hitting, and your league is deep, and you need to take a serious gamble because you're doing really poorly in pitching, and it can't get any worse. Then maybe, but I don't foresee Verlander being an ace this year. There's little to no chance that he goes from a 6 K rate and a 3 walk rate to suddenly a 9 and 1, maybe.
All right.
It's just like it doesn't seem very feasible.
Thank you very much for the one-word answer.
Yes. No. What?
All right, Bryce Harper is taking some swings in the cage. Looks like he's going to be back soon. What's his second half outlook? Because we are getting close to the second half of the season right now.
I would say the second half of the season starts in a week and a half, or it starts at the All Star break? When is the second half of the season
A
anyway?
week and a half. The All Star break is usually kind of past the halfway point.
Right. So why don't we just have the All Star break at the midway point of the season?
Television ratings. Hey
There's no.
man, they're playing for home field advantage in the World Series. I mean, it means something.
Oh yeah, that's true. It does mean something. uh, I would say maybe a 2 to 3 outfielder. So possibly, I don't know, 12 homers and 7 steals, decent average and some counting stats. I don't first. I mean, he hasn't had more than like what he had his breakout year was like 2011 homer steals. He had, you know, so what does he get over half of season? In the best case scenario, 12-7.
Right.
It's okay. Yeah,
Okay.
I mean it's fine. It's not bad. He's not gonna win any leagues just him alone.
So it was
Like he's not Mike Trout.
okay. That's so perfect because you didn't know I was going to bring up Mike Trout, but I wanted to segue into Mike Trout with that. What's the deal with him this year? Because look, he's having a great season. I'm not contesting that by any stretch. But where's the steals this year? I mean, why is he not running?
Like I would like to segue into everything. I love the segue. It is a really underrated mode of transportation. I would say because he had his back injury. Well, I wouldn't say injury, but he was day to day for a little while there with
Yep. Stiffness.
a back issue. Like I have back issues of Playboy magazine. He had a back issue that was causing him to sit out for a couple games. So yeah, maybe that has something to do with when you slide, you hit your back. I don't want to be too logical here, but that could be the problem with his steals. Maybe he's nursing something.
Okay. Uh, Todd Frazier is actually on pace for a 30-18 season, which he's kind of done quietly. I mean, obviously, look, we've talked about him. He gets mentioned a lot in the rundown. But my question here, where does Todd Frazier, where's he going to go next year? I mean, is there a chance that he's kind of moving up the third, fourth round consideration? I know obviously 2015 is a long way from now, but I'm just kind of curious, especially guys who are playing keeper and dynasty leagues, where does Todd Frazier kind of fit into the mix right now?
I think Frazier, as of right now, unless he explodes and he goes to he does 35 15 season. If he explodes, then you could throw what I'm about to say out the window. But as he's going right now, I would say he's going to be underrated even next year, just because it doesn't seem like anyone really appreciates what he's capable of.
Right.
I called him. I wrote a post in December of this year talking about Todd Frazier as a sleeper because I knew, like in the minors, he had seasons where he had 15 plus steals. So I mean, there's no speed doesn't necessarily evaporate without an injury. So he could easily, and he has 30 homer power. So that's why I was even saying he was a sleeper back in December. He's a guy who could easily get a 30-15 season, which is top three third baseman for the season. I mean, that's up there with, you have Donaldson, Miggy, and him right now. He's David Wright in his prime.
Ugh, I don't talk about David Wright. David Wright.
Well,
David Wright's on pace for
right
a
now,
12-8 season.
right. Well, David Wright right now is living off a name value.
Yeah,
People are
absolutely.
overvaluing him. I bet you could get Todd Frazier and another piece for David Wright because people overrate David Wright so much.
Okay. Listen, real quick, and I do want a quick answer on this one. Okay, I'm going to hold you to it on my invisible watch. Scooter Gennett, he of arguably the best name in baseball right now, only 9% owned, 300 career hitter in the minors. He is currently on a 5-game hit streak where he's got at least 2 hits a game last 5 games. Is he just a hot schmatato, or is Scooter Gennett worth rostering with a little bit of pop, a little bit of speed? Quick answer.
Worth rostering.
Wow, that was quick. You totally messed me up. No,
You could, no, I would say
no,
that I would say
that,
instead of
we're going to
saying
break. We'll be back
Oh.
right after this. More Razzball Radio. Maybe I'll let him answer the Scooter question when we come back. All right. It appears today that the only thing I'm doing here is interrupting Grace. So do you want to just kind of recap on Scooter Gannett there?
Oh yeah, no, I was just gonna say no. I was gonna say rather than giving me a 3 minute question and ask for a 30-second answer, you just give me a 30-second question and ask for a 3 minute answer. That would I don't know. That's what I'm saying. But what do I know? You're the one in charge.
So, Scooter, roster him?
Yeah, he's worth rostering. He's good. I would definitely. At middle infield, what do what else are you looking at? Josh Rutledge, who Walt Weiss refuses to play.
Yeah.
Colton Wong, who Mike Matheny refuses to play. You have, Scooter has been as hot as any other guy in the league right now for the last, I don't know, week and a half. So, yeah, grab him, roster him, ride it out. I think it's for real. I could probably, I could talk about Scooter for the next 15 minutes.
No. We'll wrap it up. But again, 300 career hitter in the minors. Another guy that got called up by the Marlins this week. Obviously, there's a lot of hype with Andrew Heaney getting called up. But let's talk about Jake Marisnick, because I think you and I have differing views on him. It's not that I don't like him. I think he's really toolsy, but he's one of those guys I think is a great athlete, not necessarily a great baseball player. But you today in the write-up went on a little bit more detail on Jake Marisnick. Talk to me about him.
He's got power and speed. Really little else you need to know about Marisnick. He's a guy that could get maybe 12 homers and 25 steals over the course of a season. I would compare him to an Alejandro De Aza.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair. I was using a Michael Saunders comparison. So maybe we are on the same page.
Yeah, I think more or less. You know what, Nick? I think we know what the other ones even. We could just sit here and be like, same, same.
Is there any panic over Gene Segura? He was the guy who went very high this year in a lot of drafts. He's hitting 177 in June. What's happening with Gene, who I always want to call Juan? I see the J, the 4 letters, but it's Gene.
Yeah.
Or Jean, if you're from Quebec.
He's one of 2 genes in the entire world that has it's a masculine gene. I would say the other one is the reliever on the Giants, who is Gene Machismo. That's what the Maca is short for. Segura has 2 homers and I want to say 14 steals, maybe 12 steals. So
13.
His is what 13?
Yeah.
I was in the middle.
Yeah.
I was around the sides. I should have went for the median. I would say that Segura he's low on his homers per fly ball right now, really low. So he could easily have a hot streak of say 3 weeks where he hits a whopping 4 homers and be right on pace for exactly what he was last year, just a little bit lower on the average. I would say he's doing pretty much what you would expect from him. He's just not doing it in the leadoff or top of the order sort of role. Unfortunately, he's been bumped down a lot to the bottom of the order, so his counting stats are hurting. But he's been pretty much fine for the most part. Obviously 2 homers isn't great, but like I said, if he hits 4 homers in 2 weeks, he's right back to around a 10-homer pace.
Is he a buy low?
Yeah, I like Segura. I think he's a buy low if you can get him for a decent enough price. I think he has a better rest of the season than he's had up until this point.
Okay. After a couple of rough starts, Roenis Elias of the Seattle Mariners pitched well again yesterday. Only 20% owned. His numbers are surprisingly good this year. Plus, he's pitching in Safeco. What's your assessment on Mr. Elias? Elias.
Elias, Ronius Elias. Sounds like a Game of Thrones guy.
That's what I was thinking. I'm not joking.
Same, same, same. He's a streamer in most leagues. He's not much there.
That's it.
Yeah, that's all.
Okay, good stuff. Hey, by the way, remember I started watching Game of Thrones a couple weeks ago, and you said, "Oh, talk to me when you're done." I caught up in 3 weeks. I'm totally caught up now on Game of Thrones. Best
You
show
wa-
ever.
you watched the last episode, the final
Mm-hmm.
episode this past season already?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy. That was fast. That was like 3 weeks. Did you know they whatchamacallit, off screen when he was in the bathroom, there was Michael Brantley was standing off screen. He was waiting to go into the toilet with before Tyrion did what he did. I don't want to give it away for the people at home that haven't seen it. You know what you got to watch next? Fargo. Best show on TV.
Okay, I'm all over it.
Which I literally say about maybe 5 or 6 shows. So I don't mean that literally the best show, but it is the best show.
You know what I just started watching? Silicon Valley.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a very funny show, very well written.
Sadly, the guy who played Peter Gregory passed away.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh, I didn't know that.
He's really funny in that, but yeah, he passed.
Okay, real quick, we got a couple more minutes here. Actually, we got about a minute left. JD Martinez, 1% owned. He's on a 7-game hitting streak. A hot schmatato.
Yeah.
Very good. Jesus Montero gets called up. I don't even want to talk about Jesus because Jesus Montero is, he's not a Jesus Montero
Hey,
guy.
watch blasphemy. This is a
Listen.
kid.
Hits a home run yesterday for the Mariners. There's no
Yeah.
chance we're picking him up, right?
Only if he hit 20 home runs yesterday, I would only consider picking him up.
What about Cody Ash, who's coming off the DL? He'd been pitching really well before he went on it. Hitting really well.
Yeah. It depends. I don't know. Brignac has actually been hitting really well himself. So I'm not sure how the Phillies are going to play it now that Ash is coming back. I'm assuming Ash is going to get the starting job back at some point, but they may just slowly work him in. I don't know. He's more of a deep league play as of right now.
All right, listen, enjoy the rest of your time off in the Inland Empire, and we'll see you back next week, next Monday and Wednesday. That's when Gray joins us on Razzball Radio, Monday and Wednesday. Play with us at DraftKings tonight. You can get the link, of course, at Razzball Radio in today's hot sheet. Gray, I'm going to miss you, buddy. We'll talk on Monday, okay?
Late.